All right, in this activity, you are going to take 6 pictures of the same subject. Actually, it should be 5 pictures because there are only 5 different ISO settings on this particular camera that we were using. You're taking 5 pictures, the same subject in the same light condition. You're going to use the same f-stop, but different ISOs. And as you change the ISO, it was also going to change the shutter speed. Now, for the example that I'm doing right here, I didn't follow my own directions intentionally because I wanted to show you that you could do this by changing the f-stop instead of, or the aperture, the f-stop instead. So here I have my 5 images that I took of this apple on a black cloth. And the interesting thing that I noticed right off after I took these pictures is that when on this one, notice the ISO is 100. I'm showing the metadata right here. The ISO is 100, the shutter speed's 1/200, and the f-stop's at 5.6. I keep the shutter speed the same because I was using flashes. I changed the ISO in the next picture. Notice the ISO is 200, and then I stopped it at 8, and then at ISO 400, I stopped it at 11. That's one stop up. And then ISO 800, I stopped it at 14, and then ISO 16, I stopped it at 18. And the interesting thing is, while the apple looks similar in all 5 images, you can see some of the red and the color data fading as you go. But the color that it was reflecting off the cloth loses a lot of the color information as we go from 100 ISO to 1600 ISO. And that was surprising to me. I hadn't seen it that pronounced before. At any rate, I opened this up in Photoshop now so I could look at these. And here are the 5 images going from the the 100 ISO, 100, 200, 400, 800, and 1600 ISO. Now in the assignment, I tell you to zoom in at 800% on an area. So I'm going to zoom in it a few times, and I'm looking right here till I get to 800%. I could just double click right there and write 800, and then it's going to show the magnification of this apple at this zoom level. So I'm going to go back to Control 1 to show it at the full 100% view. I'm going to use the Move tool now. Oh, sorry, I'm going to use the Hand tool. Oh, sorry, I should use the Hand tool right here. And I'm going to take just the corner of this apple right here. I'm going to take a selection of it because this has, I think, the richest color in it right here. And I'm going to use this selection tool right here, the rectangular selection tool. Notice that it was showing the elliptical one, but I just held that button down and it shows the other tools or versions of this tool underneath it. And I'm just going to select that much. That's all. And notice this selection right here. Let's see, notice I have a feather of 0 pixels. That means a feather makes it kind of a funny, fuzzy edge to it. But I'm going to select that much of this image. And I'm going to go Control C to copy it. Now I'm going to make my new document. This is the one that I'm going to put all my work on. I'm going to do it in inches because I know inches best. And I'm going to make this 10 inches wide by 8 inches high. And this is my new document. I'm going to paste that on, and there's my first one. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 probably right here, and then word room for my text that I'm going to put in. So now I'm going to go to my second one. I'm going to select approximately the same area on it. I'm trying to keep it consistent. I'm going to move that selection over here just a little bit. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to move over here to Untitled. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to move it. Oh, I did a pretty good job of making it almost the same size. It's not perfect, but it's almost the same size. Oh, I'm not zooming into 800%. Let's just keep going. I'm just keep going at this level because I think I may modify the assignment so that you don't have to zoom into 800%. Just put it at 100%. Copy. Oops. I'm going to copy, and I'm going to move over here and paste it, and then use the Move tool. I forgot to change to the Move tool. I'm going to put it right there. Go back to this one. I'm just going to do this really fast. I'm going to pause it for me, and this is just going to be done when I'm done. All right, now I have all these images from these 4 different settings put right here. And I'm going to use the text tool, and I'm going to write what f-stop I used for each one of them. I mean, not f-stop, excuse me, the ISO. And the ISO was 100 here, so I'm going to write ISO 100, and I'm going to move that down so I can see it a little better. All right, and I'm done with that one. Now I'm going to put the ISO for the other 5, and I'm not so worried about the f-stop and the shutter speed. I'm just going to take, I watched you guys do it, so I'm not that worried about you getting it right. So I'm going to put those in, and then I'm going to restart. Now, the interesting thing that you'll note here is that the color information, it loses it. I mean, this is bouncing a lot of blue onto the sensor, and kind of a rich red. Now when we go to 200 ISO, there's not as much of that blue color that's bouncing off it. There's a lot of blue in the flashes that I used. If we zoom in, I'm going to zoom in on all these. Notice the detail right here. I'm going to hold down the space bar, and I'm going to drag up here. But notice the difference in the detail between those two things, and that's just those two images, and that's just at 300%. And let me zoom into 800. And when we zoom into that, you can, you see these squares. That's just saying, it's just telling you that this is, you're not going to get any more information if you zoom in. Let me go to 1. Oh, sorry. And I'm going to zoom in on this part to 800%. And notice that there's a lot more color in it. This probably isn't the best magnification. I'm going to go out a couple 100%, go to 500%, and look at that, and then slide down here to this one. And there's, we're losing a lot of information going from there to there. Just going from 100 to 200, we're losing 100 to 200 ISO. We're losing some color information. So that's what's going on here. I want you to put those in your own words right here in the text box. So it should look something like this. I'm not going to have you zoom into 800%, so disregard that part of the assignment. And write in the text box the answer to the question, note the camera, and once again write a paragraph explaining how changing the ISO affected the image and why. So that's the end of this recording. If you have questions, ask me, and I'll help you with it.